And now we talk about language. Professor Virtanen, how do you see the role of different concepts and language within the discussion of biodiversity crisis?
Thanks. I think language is very important issue when we talk about biodiversity, as the concept of biodiversity can be taken in many different ways, and there is no single definition of the term. And concepts can also be value-laden. And in earlier video we just learned about different values of biodiversity. So the concept of biodiversity can actually have different values for people. Or there are different values involved in that concept. The language used in science and in policy making actually draw upon certain values and philosophical ideas. Language in itself can guide humans' actions and behavior, thinking, and therefore we really should pay closer attention to it. The history of the concept of biodiversity started from the idea of wilderness. Largely, it grew from conservation biologists and then developed to biodiversity in the 1980s. And these discussions often originated from the binary idea that humans are separate from nature and that humans protect nature which is external to them. Nature doesn't exist as a separate category for everyone, and thus should be understood in different ontological and epistemological contexts. I've been working in indigenous Amazonia with different indigenous societies. I've been collaborating with them for quite a long time, and they do not have in their languages words for nature, but words for specific species which are known from experience. In fact, many studies have shown that those societies that do not draw from binary views or from anthropocentric ideas of the world have been successful in biodiversity protection. The interdependence of beings and biodiversity's contribution to people's well-being and health in Amazonia, for instance, are issues that are really comprehensively taken into account in their lifelong education, in their economy, and in different decisions that they make, for instance, for their land management. Different conceptualizations of biodiversity can actually be taken as an opportunity to approach biodiversity crisis, because there are different conceptualizations of biodiversity, and it's important they are understood in different contexts. Are they ontologically or epistemologically different? So a critical look should be taken at the language, concepts and categories that are used in solving biodiversity loss. Are they maybe biased? Are they maybe really drawn from certain type of Western thinking? This can also improve the skills needed to measure and protect biodiversity better. The questions of planet's future in terms of its biodiversity is one that needs to be studied no matter what one's disciplinary background is. This is what I think. So the different actors are needed. Not only researchers from biology and environmental sciences, they are making hugely important contributions, but I think that also researchers from the social and human sciences, and those who have maybe really long-term ethnographic experiences and collaborations with diverse populations are also important in order to understand the concepts in different languages, in different cultural contexts, and even in different time frames. Also the issue of temporality is important, because not all societies have the same concept of time. It's important to pay attention. Lastly, I would like to say to the way how people learn about biodiversity. Is it based on the written texts and images that have been studied, or are they learning through their own personal experiences? It's really, I think, good to note that there are new terms that have been introduced recently by the side of biodiversity. So there are new terms that are taking into account different epistemological and ontological dimensions. So for instance, there are terms such as life-supporting system, environmental justice, species justice. These are all very, very important terms to understand biodiversity differently. And I think all these concepts are really, really needed in order to really create more epistemologically pluralist approaches to solve biodiversity crisis.
Thank you. Thank you very much.